What's going on, guys? It is Caleb, and today I have a Mark IV R32 Golf in Black Magic Pearl that is in for a detail. This car does belong to a buddy of mine, and we've been meaning to get around to getting this thing done, but now today we finally have it in the shop to get it nice, cleaned up, and get that paint protected. For those who don't know, this is actually a pretty rare car. It's actually really cool to have this thing in here because if you know Volkswagens, you know Golfs, you know GTIs, the R32 is the Golf R of the Mark IV era. It has a gorgeous sounding VR6 motor with a holodeck-driven all-wheel drive system. It's just a all-around beautiful classic car of the early 2000s from Volkswagen that is now pretty rare. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I do think in the 2004 year for the R32s in Black Magic Pearl, they only made 750 of these, which is pretty rare. It's not the rarest car I've done, but if you guys know me, you know I'm a nerd about history and statistics with cars and stuff like that, especially when it comes to paint codes and numbers that were made. So yeah, very exciting. There. Before we go any further, guys, if you could just take a real quick second and like the video, go ahead and press subscribe if you want to stick around for some detailing content and cool shenanigans with cars, and ring that bell to know every single time I upload a video. This car, I kind of need to do a little bit of talking about because it's one of my dream cars, I guess you could say as well. I have a dream car list, I guess you could say, of 5 vehicles that I want to own as I grow older through time. And this one is one of those cars. Black Magic Mark IV R32 Golf is just one of those cars that look amazing. And one thing I guess you could say about this car too is that this detail is just to get this thing nice and cleaned up and to protect the paint for about 3 more months or so, because within that time we're going to be doing a 2-stage polish and paint correction on this thing and ceramic coating it and getting it just really nice and neat where it should be, I guess you could say. The owner really wants to get this car pristine because it is a pretty rare car and nice car, and the paint looks phenomenal when it is fully corrected, and we got to do that. But we can't get to it yet, mostly because of my ability to schedule and being really busy, so we're going to go ahead and put some stuff on it to protect it for about 2 to 3 months or so that way it doesn't get any worse than where it's at now. But yeah, overall this is going to be a fantastic detail, another fun one that has rolled its way through the shop, and I think this guy's going to be around for quite a long time with this vehicle, so you might see it more and more as we do maintenance washes and of course the big paint correction detail that I'm going to end up recording here shortly. I love this car. I'm really excited for this one, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. Please like the video if you are interested in this sort of stuff and seeing really nice vehicles. Other than that though, let's go ahead and continue onwards. My hair is wet because I just took a shower. I look like a total bum. I'm growing out this weird looking mustache thing that I can barely grow. Anyways, yeah, so let's go ahead and get on with it. To get things kicked off with this vehicle, we're going to go ahead and start with a pre-rinse. This car pretty much has been taken care of in a lot of ways, but one thing's for sure is that it hasn't really had a deep, thorough pre-rinsing. You can tell by all these little parts of the nooks and crannies, like near the trim pieces and the door handles, where there's a little bit of built up stuff. And we're going to focus on those, and then as we go through the wash cycle, as you guys know, I take a Max Shine detail brush and I go through all the trim pieces and all those little nook areas and make sure it gets nice and clean. One thing too with this vehicle, there are bugs stuck to the front of it, of course, from daily driving, and the way I get around that is taking some Meguiar's APC, their D101, and spraying that on the front bumper and letting that sit for like about a couple minutes or so while I go through and rinse down the rest of the vehicle. And what that's going to do is break down the guts and stuff that ends up etching its way into the clear coat of a front bumper like you usually see on a lot of cars, especially here in Florida, and make the pressure washer easily just blow it away. One thing to note though, if you are going to use APC or some sort of degreaser in order to break down bug guts, if you have a wax or something simple like a turtle wax paint sealant or something on your car, this APC or most degreasers undiluted will start to break down that coating, so just be aware of that whenever you're doing this. You might want to reapply a layer of wax if you are going to spray this stuff on the front bumper. the car being completely cleaned and dried off, we went ahead and backed it into the shop where we're going to focus on putting some sort of light coating on this to make the paint nice and safe from UV and whatnot as we move through the next couple months, and I'm able to schedule him in for a paint correction. As you guys know, I love Griot's Garage's 3-in-1 ceramic spray wax. This stuff is awesome, especially if you only put one coating on it. It's going to last about 3 months or so in the Florida sun. If you wait a little bit and then apply a second coating, that's when you can get longevity out of this specific product. But with all the harsh weather conditions of Florida, especially right now with a blazing hot sun and rain just like a Category 4 hurricane every afternoon, this stuff's going to work perfectly fine for the next few months. Make sure you have a clean microfiber, spray a little bit on the surface, and then wipe it in, flip the towel over, and go ahead and buff it out. This is going to make it look completely glossy, especially with this specific kind of paint. Man, does it look amazing. One thing I love to do with this product as well is after I get done coating the entire paint, I like to move to the windows. Especially being in Florida, man, you almost need some sort of coating on your windows. And it's also really cool to go through an entire vehicle and then give it back to a customer and then have them message me about how crazy the water is flying off their windshield whenever it's raining just because of the hydrophobic product I put on there. It's always nice to see a little bit of reaction out of someone because some people don't really understand that. They don't expect to see that stuff. They thought you just worried about their paint. Not to mention it adds to the whole gloss of the entire thing. since we had extra time with this detail, we went ahead and got these clouded up, oxidized headlights polished up and looking good as well. These really weren't that bad. I mean, honestly, I've done a lot, and I mean a lot of really bad headlights, and these really weren't so bad. I went ahead and just pulled out my dual action polisher with a microfiber cutting pad and used some Sonax's Perfect Finish, and it polished right up. I was expecting to have to use like a compound, then a polish, or even with some, you have to wet sand them and then go through the polishing steps in order to get them nice and glossy and clear. But with these, we went ahead and did a simple polish on them. It cleared it up beautifully, put some of that ceramic wax on it to last it until we get to the nitty-gritty detail later on, and then from that point they'll be repolished again and put an actual ceramic coating on them. And that brings us to the end of this detail. Once again, guys, I thank you so much for sticking around with me for another video, another week, another detail. Just remember, I'm going to go ahead and start changing some things up here with the upload schedule. Tuesdays are going to be shop videos, Fridays are going to be my detailed videos, and now that we have an editing setup in the shop, I can finally get on top of my editing. So if you like the video, please show me by leaving a like, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to stick around for some detailing content and car shenanigans. Other than that, guys, I thank you so much. Stick around for the ending cinematic to show the after clips of the vehicle, and I will see you all next week. Later, guys.